Up TV.
Hello there. We are glad you've chosen us for your dose of trending news here on Look Up TV. On this segment, we share with you what's trending from Kenya and around the world as well, every day at this time. My name is Joy Mochache, and before we begin, a happy Independence Day to Rwanda. Today, July the 1st, in 1962, Rwanda gained independence from Belgium. And on that happy note, let's begin with what's making our top news. Respondents present their case to defend the High Court's ruling. Vaccines sent to Africa, such as AstraZeneca, will not be permitted into the European Union. Bill Cosby has been freed after Pennsylvania's Supreme Court overturned his sexual assault conviction. Welcome back. In our bulletin today, we will look at a possible education scandal that's worth millions. And it looks like our leaders will not have to pursue further education, unfortunately. The same does not apply for the common mwananchi who cannot get hired without a first degree. What intense double standards we have to face. It's quite a shame, but it's a hot topic nonetheless. So let me know your thoughts and on our stories, and our handles are right at the bottom of your screen if you can see that. Why don't we begin? Number 2. In the new audit, the Ministry of Education could have lost more than $3.7 billion in over 2 years in an intricate scheme that seems to have started in the early years of the Jubilee administration, where billions are wired to schools for the free primary school and secondary education. The problems are also captured in the 2017 to 2018 as well as 2018 to 2019 audit reports. Our reporter Carol Wangari-Wanjiru has the rest of that.
The alleged misdeeds have been exposed in the latest report by Auditor General Nancy Gathungu involving inflation of student numbers, creation of ghost schools, and double payments to some institutions to siphon taxpayers' money. Gathungu revealed Ministry of Education officials made an overpayment of 1.81 billion shillings to about 2,610 public secondary schools in different counties in the new audit covering the last financial year. Of that amount, the report says 6.83 million shillings was dispersed to 5 schools whose existence was in doubt, a problem that has also been captured in the 2017-2018 and 2018-2019 audit reports. Further, the report stated that the school's registration certificates, teacher service commission appointment letters, and posting of the principals and boards of management meetings approving the opening of bank accounts were not made available to the auditors. The Ministry of Education is one of the heavily funded ministries in the Jubilee administration as it oversees the implementation of free primary and secondary education. In the 2021-2022 financial year, for instance, the ministry has been allocated 503 billion shillings. This amount includes 62.2 billion shillings for free secondary education, 12 billion shillings for free primary education, and 4.2 billion shillings for improvement of school infrastructure. In the 2018-2019, the ministry disbursed as much as 919.17 million shillings to schools that could not be traced. Carol Wangari-Wanjiru, Look Up TV, Nairobi.
And the BBI appeal case has entered the third day, with the respondents taking the floor to defend their case against the BBI, supporting the damning High Court judgment that ruled the process of the Constitution Amendment Bill unconstitutional.
To a certain extent, for instance, the referendum was textualized. The constituent power was not textualized. Public participation was also provided for in various aspects, commencing from Article 10 going to Article 118 and 119. But the premise upon which we seek to support the decision of the High Court is this. Even if they were not there, we are duty bound to follow them. There is an argument between Princess Anne and President Lyndon Johnson as to the efficacy of the Westminster model vis-a-vis the presidential system in the United States. And Anne told the president, if you are accustomed to mediocrity, you will find fault in perfection, referring to the English system of governance. Because in England, scholars will say that England does not have a written constitution. The fact of the matter that England does not have a constitution, that's the fact. What England has is demonstrable, perfected constitutionalism. So that these doctrines in here, and they apply whether or not they are textualized.
All right, move on.
Thank you, my Lord. My Lord, I will be doing an injustice on that topic if I did not acknowledge the works of Professor Richard Albert on the basic structure, which you will find I've extracted at page 1281. And Richard Albert says this, writing about how courts become supreme in defending the Constitution from unconstitutional amendment. He says that it is the duty of the court to defend democracy. Another writer whose mention requires immortalization for the purposes of these proceedings is Yaniv Rosnai, writing about populist constitutionalism and unconstitutional amendment doctrine. Again, he formulates the doctrine of constitutional capture. And because this is very relevant, permit me to cite and quote in brief what Rosnai states at page 1304. Of volume 4. He formulates the concept of constitutional capture by a populist regime or leader. And then he concludes at page 1307, the last paragraph. 1307. This is what Professor Rosnai states. Abusive constitutionalism becomes especially attractive. 1307 at the bottom.
Yes, go on, we are with you.
Abusive constitutionalism becomes especially attractive with relatively flexible amendment processes controlled by a dominant party or the government. He proceeds, for example, what allowed the weakening checks and balances on the protection of rights in Hungary, effectively turning it into an illiberal state that fails to comply with minimum standards of constitutionalism.
Thank you, Carol Wangari Wanjiru, for that long and wonderful report. Why don't we go back to our COVID update for today? The Africa Union and Africa CDC have protested after it emerged that Europe's digital green pass does not recognize the Indian type of AstraZeneca vaccine. As our reporter Keith Gitonga reports, the decision by the EU could deny many Africans and those coming from developing countries from entering Europe.
The African Union and the Africa CDC have voiced their concern after it admitted that Europe's digital green pass does not recognize a vaccine that was donated to many African countries through the COVAX initiative. The European Union's decision not to include COVID Shield, which has been distributed to many African nations as part of the COVAX initiative, access to COVID-19 vaccines has been criticized by the African Union and Africa CDC as it could potentially lock out many Africans from traveling into Europe. The European Union Digital COVID Certificate enables people who have received 2 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine approved by its medicines regulator, the European Medicine Agency (EMA), to travel freely. But the pass only recognizes AstraZeneca doses manufactured in Europe, branded as Vaxzevria, and not those manufactured by the world's largest vaccine manufacturer, the Serum Institute of India (SII), which is branded Covishield. In their protest, the AU criticized refusal by the EU to recognize those whom have been vaccinated with India's version of the AstraZeneca vaccine. The AU and the Africa CDC urged the EU Commission in a joint statement on Monday to consider increasing mandatory access to those vaccines deemed suitable for global rollout through the EU-supported COVAX facility. Keith Gitonga, Look Up TV, Nairobi.
Asante sana Keith Gitonga for that. And we're going to be taking a very short breaks right now, but don't go too far because we're coming right back with more stories for you. And as you go on your break, remember that you can talk to me bulletin and what you think about the fact that there's not going to be any need for our politicians and parliamentarians to get information. Do that at Look Up TV on Facebook and Twitter, or send me a text on the same at 20374. We'll be right back.
You're watching Look Up TV. Want to grow your business? Broadcast your sermon, share birthday wishes, make funeral announcements, produce adverts and documentaries? Then book and advertise with us today by calling us on +254 700 893 542.
700-893-542.
Or email us on sales@look-up.tv.
Welcome to Look Up Guest House, Retreat and Prayer Center. When you first come in, we will be happy to receive you at our reception, then proceed to our cozy and well-equipped accommodation facilities. We aim to provide our guests with a unique, comfortable and worthwhile experience. Here at Look Up Guest House, we provide our guests with a continuous supply of room amenities. A cool environment for all your retreat activities.
Look Up Guest House, Retreat and Prayer Center. For reservation, contact us on info@lookupguesthouse.org or call us on 0746 788 707.
You guys have to tweet about this.
What phone is this? Hey, looks good. How much is it?
You haven't heard of the Optiven offer?
No.
I must excuse you. Optiven has this amazing offer. If you make a commitment of 900k in any of their value-added projects, you get rewarded with a cool smartphone, bro.
Welcome to the Natural Juicing Center. We are a unique organization that seeks to provide the community with an alternative healthcare option. We specialize in the use of a natural holistic system that focuses on building health through cleansing and nourishing of the body. We utilize a variety of natural health promoting methods in our services, which include juicing therapy, hydrotherapy, colon cleansing, massage therapy, and a comprehensive cleansing service, among others. Our juices are freshly made and tailored to each and every client's individual needs after evaluation by our team through our free consultation service. You can now book for any service or order for food supplements on our website www.naturaljuicingcenter.co.ke. You can also visit our center in Kahawa Sukari, house number 1334, Kahawa Sukari Avenue. Natural Juicing Center. Your health is your wealth.
Like, follow, subscribe, click the notification button. Join the Look Up TV movement now. You're watching Look Up TV.
Welcome back from that brief break, and I know that you guys are sending me comments. Why don't we go on? Then we shall read them towards the end. The Senate Legal Committee has approved Senator Kipchumba Murkomen's bill seeking to amend the Elections Act and remove a requirement that those vying for MPs and MCAs must have a degree. The committee has given the bill a nod, saying that it will ensure that no Kenyan is discriminated against as far as vying for positions is concerned. And as Brian Amwai reports, the move comes after the IEBC proposed to have any person seeking an elective position to have a university degree.
Legal and Human Rights, chaired by Nyamira Senator Honorable Okongo Omogeni, today held a virtual meeting to deliberate on 2 draft elections amendment bills 2021, sponsored by Senators Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen of Elgeyo Marakwet and his Narok counterpart, Honorable Ledamo Lekina. On his proposal, Senator Murkomen seeks to have the Elections Act amended to enable a person who is able to read and write in English or Kiswahili, and in the case of the deaf, are literate in Kenya's Sign Language, to be nominated as Member of Parliament. Currently, the law only allows the nomination of a candidate for election as MP or MCA if they hold a degree from a recognized university. Senator Murkomen argues that the law is not only restrictive but discriminates against persons who may not have a degree, as it implies that only persons who have a degree have the capacity to serve in public office. In his submission, Murkomen states that the provision as contained in the Elections Act is not only restrictive, but discriminates against persons who may not have a degree, as it implies that only persons who have a degree have the capacity to serve in the public office. End of quote. Senator Ledama opines that the requirement for an MCA to hold a degree could be a tall order, considering the low literacy levels, especially in marginalized counties. Senator Ledama proposes that a person seeking to be an MP should hold a degree, whilst those seeking to be a member of the county assembly should hold a certificate of secondary education, or those who have served 2 terms as MCA or member of local authority. The amendment comes days after Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati announced that only those with degrees will be allowed to vie in the polls in compliance with the Elections Act.
We follow what's in the law. And the law is very clear. If you look at section 22 of the Elections Act, that all candidates in the 6 elective positions come the next general election must have a degree to be able to qualify to run for office. I think that law is clear.
The amendment is premised on Article 38 of the Constitution, which provides that every adult citizen has a right without unreasonable restrictions to be registered as a voter, to vote by secret ballot in any election or referendum, and to be a candidate for public office or office within a political party of which the citizen is a member and elected to hold office. Other than candidates in the parliamentary elections, Murkomen also seeks to have candidates for county assembly seats also exempted from IEBC's academic qualifications, basing his argument on Article 110 of the Constitution. Brian Amwai, Look Up TV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Brian Amwai, for that report. And moving on, confusion witnessed during the Matiang'i-led National Development Implementation and Communication Cabinet Committee. This was a meeting with the Council of Governors at Kenya School of Government when it emerged that Wajir County was being represented by 2 governors. Roger Muiruki with more to that story.
Just who is the governor of Wajir? Mohamed Abdi Mohammed and Ahmed Ali Mukhtar have been embroiled in a power struggle since the former was impeached. Hours after the Senate upheld his impeachment, he secured a court order from a Meru court to block the swearing-in of Mukhtar. However, the order was issued just a few minutes after the swearing-in was concluded. Power struggle in Wajir County has continued to play out in public, causing confusion as to who is the legitimate county boss. During introduction in the Matiang'i-led National Development Implementation and Communication Cabinet Committee, both Mohamed Abdi Mohamud and Ahmed Ali Mukhtar arose to introduce themselves as the bosses when it came time to recognize Wajir County representation. Honorable Mohamed Abdi Mohamud was, however, ejected from the meeting by police officers who were called upon, and he chose to walk out of the meeting peacefully without causing commotion. Earlier during arrivals, Mukhtar protested to the ushers when he arrived and found that his seat was already occupied by Mohamud, and he had to sit at the same spot but behind Mohammed. In another instance, they both made a similar appearance on Monday at a city hotel during a farewell luncheon in honor of former Chief Executive Officer Jacqueline Mogeni, who has been appointed a judge of the High Court. Which then begs the question, just who really is in charge? Roger Muriuki, Look Up TV, Nairobi.
Thank you so much, Roger Muruki, for that report. And this is quite interesting news coming ahead from the United States. Retired American actor and stand-up comedian Bill Cosby has been released from prison. This comes after Pennsylvania's highest court overturned his sexual assault conviction, saying the disgraced actor's due process rights were violated. The 83-year-old walked free on Wednesday after serving more than 2 years of a 3 to 10-year prison sentence in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Bill Cosby was sentenced in 2018 to a state prison for drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea Constand in his home in 2004. The stunning decision in the case of the man once known as America's Dad reverses the first high-profile celebrity criminal trial of the #MeToo era. And why don't we talk a little bit about international news, going all the way to China. China's President Xi Jinping has warned that foreign powers will get their heads bashed if they attempt to bully or influence the country. Jinping delivered a defiant speech at an event marking the centenary of the ruling Communist Party today. Relations between the U.S. and China have worsened in recent times over trade, espionage, and the pandemic. While democratic Taiwan sees itself as a sovereign, China faces criticism over alleged human rights abuse. While celebrations today consisted of old red songs about communism and socialism, we can only hope China will see the good in democracy one day. In other news, Rwanda marks today as the day they gained independence from Belgium. However, they don't celebrate the day as Liberation Day is just 3 days later, and funds allocated are only for one celebration on Liberation Day, that is on July the 4th. And on a lighter mood, as the world also celebrates International Joke Day today, started by American author Wayne Raganell, the day focuses on people sharing jokes, memes, and generally making the world a little happier place to live. Joy Mochache, Look Up TV. So I guess today we're celebrating a lot of things, including Rwanda's independence, International Joke Day, as you've just heard, and I also hear that it is International Day of Reggae. So to all the reggae fans out there, before we move on to our sports, I hope that you're thoroughly enjoying this day. How about we talk a bit about sports? Tusker FC will be representing Kenya in the 2021-2022 CAF Championships League after thrashing Ulinzi Star 4